I never had to give it up. Like you can, like a lot of girls will be cool with you sleeping with other girls as long as it's framed in the right way. It's like, hey, like you're the only girl I'm gonna be who's actually my girlfriend. You're the only girl I have feelings for. You're the only girl I'm gonna, who's gonna be my family. But I like novelty, so occasionally I'll sleep with other girls, and sometimes we'll fuck these girls together. I mean, I think like there's a lot of couples who make that part work
Yeah,
where you don't have to give up the idea of fucking. It's not going to work with every girlfriend, but I think it will work with more than people think if it's like framed the right way and it's framed that way from the beginning, not
I
like halfway.
agree. I agree. Yeah,
I think
that's a good thing. A lot of people get confused by this particular thing. I absolutely agree that a lot of guys actually think it's more difficult than it actually is. I have had that experience before. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But just to jump on that point, could you give some practical advice in order to have guys understand how they can make that happen?
Which one?
Sure. Yeah. I think I did a video on this a while ago. But essentially it comes down to this. Okay. So I think the first is screening. You need a girl who's rather low on the jealousy. What's it called? Spectrum, right? So this won't work with a girl who's highly jealous or even moderately jealous. You need a girl who's really not that jealous. And you need a girl who's at least somewhat open-minded. Like she doesn't have to be like a hippie or something like that, but it can't be like it's not going to work with like a traditional Christian, like religious type of girl, right? So the first part is screening. The second part is, I guess, making the value proposition high enough. So that's like you're the best that she's ever had in bed. You're really fun to spend time with. You're really cool. Like none of the other guys that she has gone a date with in the last 2 years come close. So the value proposition is high. And then when things evolve into a relationship, then you frame it like you're just being honest. At least that's the way I did. I was like, hey, listen, like I really like novelty, and I don't want to like be exclusive with you and then cheat on you and have to like break your heart because I did that in the past and I hated doing that. And she was like, "Well, I don't really care if you have sex with girls as long as you don't like start dating them."
And
And
wait,
so
wait, wait. And this doesn't really come as a surprise because your Instagram, your lifestyle kind of has that implication in the first place.
mine, I don't know if mine does really, but yeah, maybe because of the YouTube channel. Although my girlfriend told me that she never like in the beginning, she never ever watched my YouTube channel because it would trigger her. So I don't know how much of that played in a role. But yeah, I think it just came down to the fact that she's very low on the jealousy spectrum, like that. She is semi open-minded, and the fact that I think the value, at least I like to believe so, the value proposition was pretty high, and yeah, she went along with it. Also, I think you can frame it as a way as it's like a positive. It's like, hey, listen, like you and I both can meet girls and have threesomes with them. So you're not making it about yourself. You're making it about both of you. Like, hey, this can be an adventure for both of us. So yeah, I don't know if that helps.
In my experience, at least about 5 years ago, I think I did have a girlfriend. Not for that long though. She actually brought up the conversation in the first place. I remember her saying specifically, um, "I know you're." I know you would want to see other girls. I'm okay with that for now, but down the line, I would want you to just be with me. That is almost word for word what I remember her saying, and I didn't bring it up. But I guess the reason for her saying that is because of how my Facebook, Instagram, and everything else was set up. It didn't come as a surprise, and I didn't have to be the one to bring that up in the first place. So in your case, Alex, it's maybe it wasn't apparent for you, but for other guys, if you do have that kind of thing on display, like Justin does with his Instagram, very solid Instagram there, very obviously, like obviously he's not just like, once you see
I
his
don't get that problem
Instagram,
at
you're
all.
not just, yeah, exactly.
Like the whole like, oh, let's be exclusive thing. Like, I don't really get that problem. Like, I'll meet girls and be like, hey, just like the first thing I tell them is just I have three girlfriends. Like full disclosure, I let them know from the get go. Or I mean, they add me on Instagram. They just it's like in their fucking face, And polygamy is like a real thing, and a lot of women are into it. A lot of women kind of like idealize the concept of sister wives. It's so crazy, but
Just
women like
clarify,
that.
for one man with multiple women, it's called polygyny, whereas polygamy is the opposite, I think.
I think you're mixing up polygamy and polyamory. So polyamory is where it's like open relationships, the girls date other guys. But polygamy is there's like one man, multiple women. The women don't date other men. And so you know what's funny about polygamy is it took me a long time to accept that I was like a polygamous man. Like I was hanging out with some friends and they were just talking about how happy they are with their girlfriends and how happy they are being monogamous. And they're describing like the thought of happy they are that they can never lose this and they don't desire the women. And it was so weird. There's like this disconnect where I was like, I just don't see the world like that. Like I need to have like multiple women. I need 2, 3, 4, right? Maybe I can have like a primary girlfriend, but then I have like a secondary, third girlfriend. You know, they can all be friends, right? But just the way my brain is wired, I think is a little bit different. And I think a lot of men don't know how to actually communicate that. It took me a long time to figure out how to actually communicate that in my relationships.
How do you do it now?
Yeah.
I'm just honest from the get-go. Like I don't like lying either. Right. And now the problem is with a lot of women when they fall in love, they get very emotional and they get very attached. Right. Even if they would even accept the fact that you're polygamous or accept the fact that you want to date other women, you know, after they're attached, they're still going to show envy and jealousy. And so you kind of just have to set the boundaries of like, this is who I am. Almost as if like imagine like the concept of like coming out as gay. You have to come out as like polygamous and like set that like this is my sexuality or this is like how I see the world and this is how I view relationships. And this is like the world I live in. Right. And I think polygamy actually works a lot better than polyamory as well, because I think most women don't necessarily want to date other men. They want to attach themselves to like one strong, stable man, but they're okay with that man dating other women or seeing other women as long as they know they're loved or as long as they know they are still wanted and desired. So I find that really interesting. Just the way, because I don't think most men are polygamous. I don't think most men, like a lot of guys like the concept or idea of polygamy, but I don't think most men's brains are actually wired to be polygamous or even have the access where they could be polygamous. Right.
They just want to have a relationship in
Yeah.
Germany.
Justin,
Yeah, I think-
here's how you got to frame it. You got to be like, listen, bitch. There's 1 billion people in India. Okay, I'm part of. There's literally 5 of us who are banging a bunch of white girls. I'm one of them. So don't you dare.
Yeah, no, I think I'm pretty straight up with it. Even like with social media, like I've got thousands of girls on Instagram and they kind of see what it is. And it kind of almost filters out the girls that wouldn't be okay with it. Right. And so one thing I started doing was screening for bisexual women because I figured instead of dating straight women who aren't into girls, right, bisexual women would be more empathetic and understanding with the concept of wanting to date other women as well. Right. And so over the last year and a half, did a lot of that. And it was a lot of fun. I had a lot of very fun, exciting experiences. But I almost even found that a lot of bisexual women weren't even good, stable dating partners. Like the girls that just want the fun, they're not going to be good girlfriends. So I found like dating straight women who are monogamous to you, but you kind of do your thing, kind of just makes the most sense if you're looking to actually have like serious long-term relationships.
Oh yeah, for sure.